Close your eyes. You're not in your bed anymore. You're in the heart of the Roman Empire. But things aren't quite what you expected. The first light of dawn creeps softly through a small, square hole in the wall, your only window. There's no glass here, only a ragged piece of linen, loosely pinned in place, fluttering in the dusty breeze that carries the scent of old stone, smoke, and far-off bread ovens. You're lying on a thin mat of straw. It's scratchy, uneven, and smells of hay and mildew. There's no mattress, no pillow, just a rough woolen cloak tangled around your legs. Far below, the sound of wooden wheels on cobblestones and the distant clatter of hooves rise slowly with the city. You try to stretch, but your head bumps into the cold, cracked wall beside your sleeping space. The room is narrow and dim, tucked inside one of the many insulae, Rome's infamous apartment blocks. These buildings are tall, packed tightly side by side, built of wood and brittle brick, rising high above the city streets. Most were thrown up quickly to house the swelling population. They're unstable, often leaning, always crowded. Fire is a daily fear. A sudden collapse is never out of the question. But this is where you live, and for now, this is your home. Outside your walls, the city has already begun to stir. The noise comes before the sun. Clop, clop, horses. Pulling carts rattle along the narrow alleys. Squeak, creak, shout. Merchants, setting up their stalls in the forum, call out through the morning mist. Fresh bread, figs, beans for boiling. You hear your neighbors waking up, too. The walls are paper thin. Every cough, every footstep, every frustrated sigh echoes across the floorboards. Someone is arguing. Someone is sneezing. A baby wails somewhere below. Life in an insula is never quiet. You shift in your straw, and a sharp scent rises. The unmistakable sting of last night's chamber pot still sitting in the corner of the room. You'll have to dump it soon into the public drain, if someone else hasn't already taken the spot, or slipped in it. There's no bathroom here. No sink, no mirror, no toothbrush. You sit up slowly, legs stiff, and pour a few drops of cold water from a clay pot over your hands. It's murky, collected from the communal fountain yesterday. The soap, if you could call it that, is a chunk of animal fat and ash, more grime than clean. You scrub the sleep from your face and reach for a twig to clean your teeth. No mint, no paste. Just a bit of vinegar, maybe, or crushed oyster shells if you're lucky. Romans have their own version of hygiene. Practical, crude, and often just for show. There's no mirror to inspect your reflection. If you owned one, it might be a piece of dull polished bronze. So instead, you run your fingers through your hair, greasy and tangled, and smooth it down the best you can. Your tunic hangs on a nail by the door. It's rough wool, scratchy, and stained. The hem is torn, the seams worn thin. Still, it's the only one you own. You pull it over your head and fasten a leather belt around your waist. You slip your feet into cracked sandals, no socks, no cushioning, just worn leather barely keeping your soles off the dirt. You step out into the hall. The staircase groans beneath your weight. The steps are narrow, steep, and dangerous. You grip the wall to steady yourself. Dust dances in the early light, kicked up by someone sweeping below. A rat darts past. Someone's cooking lentils over a fire. Another neighbor mumbles a curse. You nod politely and keep your head down. In ancient Rome, you don't want to be noticed. A wrong look can turn into a wrong day. Finally, you reach the street. The door opens, and Rome greets you. But not the white marble Rome of legends. No gleaming temples, no golden palaces. The reality is far less glamorous. The street is packed and chaotic. 2 carts have jammed at the corner. Donkeys bray. A Greek slave shouts angrily. A child flings a stick across the alley. Someone urinates in the gutter with casual ease. You step aside quickly to avoid it, but the smell is already thick in the air. A powerful blend of spoiled food, dung, smoke, sweat, and too many people in too small a space. You haven't eaten. Your stomach is already groaning. The bathhouse won't open until midday, and even then, it costs a few coins you might not have. Your feet already ache from walking down the stairs, and the sun has barely risen. You glance down the alley, where the shadows of other workers shuffle through the haze of morning. You're not alone in your struggle. Rome is packed with millions just like you, struggling, sweating, surviving. This is not the shining Rome of poets and statues. This is the living Rome, raw, rough, loud, and unkind. A city of tenements and trash fires, of curses and coins, of ambition and aching backs. And for most of its people, life here is a daily challenge, not a dream. And this was just your morning. You haven't even had breakfast. You haven't gone to work. You haven't seen the forum, the latrines, the crowded temples, or the angry mobs. You haven't faced the baker's prices or the bathhouse line. You haven't been accused of anything yet. In your world today, comfort is normal. Privacy is expected. Soap, warmth, toothpaste, and peace, all easy to find. But here in ancient Rome, these things barely exist. And what you miss most, more than your bed or your food, is the quiet, because Rome never sleeps. Not really, not fully, and neither do you. Tonight, if you return, you'll curl back up on your pile of straw. You'll pull your cloak around your legs. You'll listen again to the crying baby, the coughing neighbor, the creaking boards. And you'll be grateful for the blanket, for the room, even for the rats in the corner. Because tomorrow will be harder. And in this empire, the city doesn't care who survives, only who endures. The morning in ancient Rome doesn't begin with the smell of coffee or the sound of a phone alarm. It begins with footsteps in the alley, the rhythmic clatter of carts rolling past your building, and the growl of your stomach. You sit on your straw mat, wrapped in a threadbare cloak, blinking in the gray light filtering through the ragged curtain. Your body is stiff from the cold night. Your mouth is dry. And most of all, you're hungry. But breakfast in the Roman Empire, if you can call it that, is far from satisfying. There is no cereal, no eggs, no buttered toast or warm tea, no fruit smoothies, no jam or juice or sweet pastries. There are no refrigerators, no ovens, no stoves with clicking buttons. Everything you eat has to be gathered, begged, or bought. And there's not much to go around, especially for someone of your class, especially for someone with just a few copper coins to your name. You slip out of your insula and into the street. Already the air is filled with dust and shouting. A merchant is setting up his stall with flat loaves wrapped in linen cloth. A boy runs past carrying a basket of beans. The smell of roasted chickpeas wafts from a distant brazier, tempting but far too expensive. You walk past the baker's stall, your eyes drawn to the fresh loaves, crusty, cracked, and still warm. You could buy one, but it would cost nearly all your morning wages. Instead, you reach into your cloth pouch and pull out yesterday's leftover crust. It's hard, nearly stale. But this is what most Romans eat in the morning. A small piece of bread, dipped in water or wine, if wine is available. No sugar, no flavor, just calories. You tear a piece from the loaf and chew slowly. It's dry and bland, but enough to keep the hunger quiet for now. A few olives might come later if you can find them. Maybe a smear of lentil paste or a bit of goat cheese, but those are rare treats, not daily staples. Most mornings, you eat dry bread and move on. You pass a man on the steps of a temple, spooning barley porridge from a cracked bowl. Another sprinkles dried herbs onto flatbread, savoring the spice. You wish you could taste something like that. But spices are expensive. Cinnamon, pepper, even salt are luxury items in Rome. You walk on, licking crumbs from your fingers. As you make your way through the morning crowd, your stomach gives a hollow grumble. The baker shouts again, advertising a breakfast pastry called a libum, a kind of cheese bread often offered to the gods. It smells divine, but it's far too rich for you. Food in Rome is as much about class as it is about survival. The wealthy dine in their villas on honey-soaked bread, ripe figs, and bowls of dates and nuts. Their kitchens bustle with servants and slaves, preparing trays of cured meat, imported fish, and delicately seasoned eggs. Their tables are marble. Their cups are silver. Their bellies are always full. But your world is very different. You, like most Romans, live day to day, meal to meal. You don't have the time or the money to sit and eat. You chew while walking. You sip from a shared jar of watered-down wine. And even that wine is sour, sometimes cut with seawater or vinegar to make it last longer. There is no clean water here, only what you can carry or borrow from the fountains. And even then, it's far from fresh. Still chewing your bread, you pass a line forming near a street vendor. He's selling porridge, pulse, they call it. A hot, gluey mash made of ground grains, often barley or spelt. The rich add herbs, oil, and cheese. The poor eat it plain. Sometimes you have enough for a bowl. Not today. Today, you make do with what you have. A belly half full of dry bread, a sip of vinegar wine, and hope that lunch, if there is lunch, will be better. The streets are noisy now. A dog barks. A wheel breaks. The city is fully awake. You duck into an alley and squat near the fountain to rinse your hands. The water is cold and runs from a lion's mouth carved into stone. A line has formed behind you. Workers, women with children, old men with tin cups. Everyone needs water. Everyone is in a hurry. You splash a bit on your face and wipe it away with your sleeve. There's no towel. There's never a towel. You check your pouch again. 3 coins remain. That will need to last you the rest of the day. For lunch, maybe a bath, maybe medicine if that cough you've had gets worse. But for now, you've eaten what you can. You've washed what you can. You've done the best you can. Your feet are still sore from the cracked leather sandals. Your tunic clings to your skin with the dampness of the morning fog. But the day won't wait. You tuck the cloth pouch back into your belt, square your shoulders, and step back into the crowd. You walk with thousands of others, men, women, slaves, merchants, all pushing forward into the endless rhythm of Roman life. No one stops. No one looks up. No one says good morning. Because this is Rome, and in Rome, breakfast is not a time of peace or pleasure. It's a moment, a crumb, a pause in the march of survival. And if you're already hungry, the worst is still ahead. The sun climbs steadily above the clay rooftops of Rome. The morning crowd thickens. Market stalls open like blooming flowers, their canvas canopies flapping in the dusty wind. Voices rise, animals bray, and the city vibrates with urgency. There is no time to dawdle. You have work to do, and whether you're a craftsman, a laborer, or a slave, the day will grind you down like millstone on grain. In ancient Rome, most citizens did not live in villas with courtyards and gardens. They lived in cramped tenements, called insulae, stacked high and built fast, often with weak wood and brick. Fires were common, collapses more common still. Your building groans as you leave it behind. The scent of damp straw, smoke, and urine lingers in your clothes. You join the flow of bodies heading toward their stations. If you are a tradesman, perhaps you are a cobbler or a smith. You work in a narrow stall, open to the street. There is no privacy, no quiet. Your tools are worn, your hands calloused. The sweat comes quickly. So does the backache. Customers shout. Children beg. Soldiers pass and do not look at you. If you are a laborer, your day is worse. You haul stone to the forum, or dig ditches in the sun. The overseer cracks his whip, not in violence, usually, but as a warning. You labor until your tunic sticks to your back. You drink water from a shared ladle. There are no breaks unless you steal one. If you are a woman, you might be working the family stall, spinning wool, or fetching water again and again from the public fountains. You carry it in clay jars, balanced on your shoulders. One misstep and it shatters. There is no refund. If you are a slave, the day is long beyond imagining. You have no pay, no freedom, no end. You might be working in a kitchen, a field, a bathhouse, or chained in a quarry. You eat only when allowed. You speak only when spoken to. Your body is not yours. But even free citizens have few comforts. The law protects the wealthy, not the worker. There are no unions, no safety nets. If you are injured, you are replaced. If you are slow, you are mocked. If you are old, you are forgotten. At midday, the city pauses. The sun burns overhead. A few citizens retreat to the shade of porticos or bathhouses. You do not. You cannot afford it. You chew dry bread again. Maybe you buy a bowl of pulse if your morning went well. Maybe you buy nothing at all. You wipe your hands on your tunic. The dust clings. Your fingers crack. You go back to work. You work until the shadows stretch long across the cobblestones. In the late afternoon, the city groans with fatigue. You count your coins. Enough for a little wine? Maybe. Enough for a meal? If you're lucky. You walk home. Your feet blister. Your back screams. You pass fountains, temples, statues. They are not for you. They are for Rome and for the elite. You are a shadow in the great machine necessary, but invisible. Back in your insula, the walls creak. The neighbors argue. A baby cries. You light a small lamp. You sit on your mat. You eat what you have. You close your eyes, but sleep does not come quickly. Your muscles ache. Your stomach growls. Tomorrow will be the same. There is no weekend, no holiday. Only survival. So breathe deeply, traveler. Feel the heaviness of Roman dust in your lungs. Let your mind drift. Let the grind fade. Let the night fall. Because in ancient Rome, the day is never kind. And the grind never ends. The midday sun filters down through smoky air as you wander the crooked streets of ancient Rome. The scent of cooked beans, vinegar, and roasting fish wafts through the alleys. But don't be fooled. You're not about to enjoy a feast. Because dinner in Rome isn't what you think. What's cooking in the insula back in your cramped apartment? The smell of burnt olive oil fills the upper floors. Someone is trying to cook dinner on a brazier, a small open fire fueled by charcoal and scraps. The smoke drifts up, curling into your room, stinging your eyes. You check your pouch. 3 small coins. Not enough for meat. Maybe a handful of lentils. If you're lucky, a bit of barley bread. That's the staple here. Barley, beans, and stale loaves. So dry you have to soak them in watered-down wine just to chew. Fancy a snack? Don't expect anything sweet. Sugar doesn't exist in Rome. Honey is rare and expensive. Fruit? Maybe an overripe fig or a bruised apple, if you caught the vendor just before closing. Street food is common, though not always safe. Stalls offer mystery sausages, boiled chickpeas, and garum, a fermented fish sauce that Romans pour over everything. It smells ... like rot, but it's everywhere, and it's all you have. You pass a tavern. It's packed with soldiers and laborers, shouting over bowls of thin porridge and sour wine. You duck inside, manage to buy a crust of bread soaked in oil, and find a seat in the corner. It's loud, dirty, but at least it's warm. Roman delicacies, imagine a nobleman's feast. This is the kind of meal you've heard in tales. Dormice stuffed with nuts, flamingo tongue, Oysters from Britannia. Peacock served whole with feathers reattached. But those are meals for the elite. The senatorial class. Not for someone like you. For you, food is fuel. Not pleasure. Cooking in the cold. Back home, you light the coals. They hiss and spit. You toss in a pot of lentils and stir it with a wooden spoon. The room fills with heat and smoke, but there's comfort in the ritual. You eat straight from the pot. There are no forks, just fingers and maybe a spoon carved from bone. A sip of wine mixed with water dulls the taste. It helps you forget the flies, the grease, the grime. You finish the meal in silence. No dessert, no tea, just a deep breath and a hope that tomorrow brings something better. Sleeping on an empty stomach, some nights, there's no dinner at all. Crops fail, markets are closed, or you simply didn't earn enough. Your belly grumbles. You roll over on your straw mat and pull the cloak tighter around your shoulders. The city never sleeps, but you must. Because tomorrow, you'll need strength. And in Rome, food is survival.